Forgive. The weight of it had been crushing me. For weeks, maybe months, I'd carried this anger, this bitter knot of unforgiveness, right in the center of my chest. He had wronged me, deeply and publicly, and the hurt was still so fresh it felt like a physical wound. He was disciplined, and I felt a certain satisfaction in that. He was getting what he deserved, and I was holding on to my righteous indignation like a shield. Then I read Paul's words to the Corinthians, and the shield began to feel less like protection and more like a heavy, suffocating blanket. Lest perhaps such a one should be swallowed up with overmuch sorrow. That line hit me hard. It wasn't just about my hurt, it was about his potential despair. I saw a picture in my mind, this person who had wronged me, not triumphant in his sin, but crushed by his shame, teetering on the edge of a spiritual abyss. Was my anger so important that I'd risk seeing him swallowed up? My righteousness started to feel a lot like pride. The Holy Spirit began to whisper to me, gently but persistently. The punishment was sufficient. That was the phrase that kept coming back. The consequence he faced was enough. It was time for grace, time for restoration. I remembered my own story, the times I'd messed up, the weight of my own sin before I received Christ's forgiveness. What if the people in my life, and what if God, had held on to the list of my wrongs? I would have been swallowed up, for sure. My forgiveness wasn't just for him, it was for me, too. It was an act of obedience, a release of the poison I was holding inside. It was faith taking over where my feelings had been in charge. Paul's words became my anchor. Confirm your love toward him. It wasn't enough to just say I forgave him. I had to actively show it, to tangibly demonstrate the love that God had so freely given me. I thought about Paul's metaphor of the Roman triumph, how we are part of God's victory procession. I didn't want to be a bystander, grumbling on the sidelines. I wanted to be a part of the parade, carrying the sweet savor of Christ. And that fragrance wasn't just the aroma of judgment and justice, it was the scent of grace, of reconciliation, of life. I prayed the prayer I'd been given, not with just my lips, but with a heart finally ready to let go. I asked for the strength and the courage to forgive, not just for my peace, but for his well-being. By faith, I received the grace to release my grip on the past, to become an agent of God's reconciliation, and to confirm my love, just as I'd been loved. The burden lifted. The knot unwound. I was free, and in that freedom, I began to hope that he might be free too.